Hello, everyone! Today, I want to share a deeply emotional and complex story that explores the intricate dynamics of family relationships, the pursuit of professional success, and the devastating choices that can sometimes lead to heartbreak. It's the story of Dr. Nandini Rao from Delhi, India, a woman whose life was marked by both remarkable achievements and profound sorrow. Dr. Nandini Rao, now 62 years old, has had a long and distinguished career as a gynecologist. But her journey wasn't always smooth, and her personal life was filled with challenges and painful decisions. Nandini met Dr. Rajesh Rao during her medical residency. She was 22 at the time, a passionate medical student, eager to make her mark in the world. Rajesh, 3 years her senior at 25, was a charming and ambitious orthopedic surgeon. Their shared passion for medicine and the long hours spent at the hospital brought them closer, and soon their professional camaraderie blossomed into a whirlwind romance. They married when Nandini was 25 and Rajesh 28, in a grand ceremony surrounded by friends and family who admired their union. Their early years of marriage were filled with love and mutual respect. Nandini excelled in her field, quickly gaining a reputation as a talented gynecologist. Rajesh's career as an orthopedic surgeon also flourished, and they often found themselves at the center of the hospital's social scene. Together, they were the picture of success. Nandini's joy reached new heights when she discovered she was pregnant. At 27, she gave birth to their first child, Arjun. The arrival of their son brought immense happiness, and they reveled in the joys of parenthood. 3 years later, at 30, Nandini welcomed their second child, Priya. Their family felt complete, and the future seemed brighter than ever. However, as their professional lives demanded more time, cracks began to appear in their seemingly perfect marriage. Rajesh's late nights at the hospital became more frequent, and Nandini, now 32, started to notice subtle changes in his behavior. The man she had once admired for his dedication seemed distant, and rumors of his infidelity began to reach her ears. Nandini tried to dismiss the whispers and rationalize Rajesh's actions. After all, they were both devoted to their careers, and the demands of their professions often kept them apart. But as the signs became harder to ignore, Nandini's suspicions grew. Rajesh's late nights, unexplained absences, and secretive phone calls painted a troubling picture. Determined to uncover the truth, Nandini, then 35, approached a local detective agency. With her demanding job and 2 young children, she needed professional help to confirm her suspicions. The detectives soon provided irrefutable evidence of Rajesh's infidelity and misconduct. The revelation was a crushing blow. Nandini confronted Rajesh with the evidence, leading to a bitter confrontation. Rajesh, unable to deny his actions, admitted to exploiting his position and engaging in multiple sexual relationships with vulnerable female patients. Heartbroken and betrayed, Nandini made the difficult decision to separate from Rajesh. Their children, Arjun and Priya, then 8 and 5 years old, were caught in the crossfire of their parents' turmoil. Nandini threw herself into her work, using her career as a coping mechanism to deal with the pain of her broken marriage. As the years passed, Nandini's dedication to her profession grew, but it came at a cost. She often performed C-section surgeries, manipulating patients with false reports and last-minute dramatizations about the baby's health to increase her earnings. This relentless pursuit of professional success left little time for her children, who, deprived of parental attention and love, grew exceptionally close to each other. Arjun and Priya, lacking the emotional support from their parents, found solace in each other. Their bond, forged in the absence of their mother's affection and their father's presence, grew unnaturally strong. By the time they were teenagers, their relationship had crossed boundaries, though Nandini remained oblivious, buried under her mountain of work and personal grief. Arjun, feeling the pressure to excel academically to gain his mother's approval, often struggled with feelings of inadequacy. Priya, on the other hand, dealt with her emotional pain by clinging to her brother, seeing him as the only constant in her tumultuous life. Their reliance on each other deepened, creating a bond that blurred the lines of familial affection. By the time Arjun was 17 and Priya 14, their relationship had taken an unsettling turn. Nandini, now in her late 40s, remained unaware, her focus entirely on her career. The siblings' emotional dependence on each other intensified, leading to a dangerous and inappropriate closeness. One evening, after a particularly grueling day at the hospital, Nandini returned home, longing for the solace of her family. As she walked through the door, the house was eerily quiet. She headed upstairs, calling out to her children. As she approached Arjun's room, she heard faint murmurs and opened the door to a sight that shattered her world. There on the bed were Arjun and Priya, locked in an intimate embrace. Stunned, Nandini gasped, and the siblings quickly pulled away, their faces flushed with guilt and fear. Confronting them, Nandini demanded an explanation. With tears streaming down their faces, they confessed their love for each other, insisting they couldn't live without one another. Nandini's heart ached as she tried to reason with them, explaining the moral and social implications of their relationship. However, Arjun and Priya were adamant, their desperation culminating in threats of suicide if they were forced apart. Distraught and feeling helpless, Nandini realized she had to make an unthinkable decision to preserve their lives, if not their souls. With a heavy heart, Nandini arranged for Arjun and Priya to move to the United States, far from the prying eyes and judgmental whispers of their community. She hoped the distance and new environment would help them see reason. But as they boarded the plane, Nandini knew she might never reconcile with her children again. The days turned into months, and Nandini threw herself into her work, the only thing that seemed to make sense anymore. She avoided calls and messages from her children, unable to face the reality of their choices. The once lively home was now a cold, silent reminder of her shattered dreams. One particularly lonely night, Nandini sat in her study surrounded by medical journals and patient files. She glanced at a photograph of a younger, happier family, the smiling faces of Arjun and Priya staring back at her. Overwhelmed by a wave of grief and loss, she finally broke down, tears flowing freely as she mourned the life she once knew. Years later, news of her children's lives reached her sporadically through mutual acquaintances. They had built a life together in the U.S., away from the stigma and shame they would have faced in India. Though it pained her, Nandini found some solace in knowing they were safe and happy in their own way. Dr. Nandini Rao continued her work, respected and admired by her peers, but the shadows of her past lingered, a silent testament to the sacrifices made and the love that ultimately tore her family apart. The memories of her children haunted her, a reminder of the thin line between right and wrong, love and taboo, and the devastating choices life sometimes forces us to make. Reflecting on her actions, Nandini couldn't shake the feeling that her professional deceit and the numerous unnecessary C-sections she performed had brought a curse upon her. In her moments of deepest despair, she wondered if this was her punishment from a higher power for the lives she disrupted and the trust she betrayed. As she lay awake at night, the faces of her former patients haunted her dreams. Their anger and despair seemed to echo her own, and she couldn't escape the thought that she had been forsaken by the universe as a form of retribution. The knowledge that her children had moved on and built a future together, albeit in an unconventional manner, was her only solace, even if it came at the cost of her own happiness and peace. Determined to find some measure of peace, Nandini, now 62, decided to dedicate her remaining years to helping others. She began volunteering at a local clinic, offering her expertise to those who couldn't afford proper medical care. She also started counseling young doctors, emphasizing the importance of ethical practices and the consequences of their actions. Through her volunteer work, Nandini found a sense of purpose and a way to atone for her past mistakes. She met countless patients, each with their own stories of pain and resilience, and their courage inspired her to keep going. Slowly, she began to forgive herself, realizing that while she couldn't change the past, she could make a difference in the present. As she sat by the window of her quiet home, reflecting on her life, Nandini understood the complexities of human relationships and the profound impact of her choices. The memories of her children and the patients she had wronged were a constant reminder of the fine line between ambition and destruction. Yet she also recognized the possibility of redemption and the power of compassion and understanding. Nandini Rao's life became a silent testament to the consequences of her actions, both as a mother and as a doctor. The choices she made in the pursuit of success and the neglect of her family left her isolated and burdened with guilt, a poignant reminder of the thin line between ambition and destruction. Thank you for watching this emotional story. I hope it resonated with you and gave you a lot to think about. As we explored the complex dynamics and heartbreaking choices faced by Dr. Nandini Rao, it's important to reflect on the profound impact of our decisions on those we love. Nandini's story is a reminder that the pursuit of success can sometimes come at a great personal cost. Her dedication to her profession led her to make choices that ultimately affected her family in ways she never anticipated. The consequences of those choices were far-reaching, impacting not only her own life but also the lives of her children. I would love to hear your thoughts and feelings about this story, especially if you are a mother. How would you feel if you were in Dr. Nandini's shoes? What would you have done differently? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights are incredibly valuable and could help others who might be facing similar challenges. In reflecting on Nandini's journey, we see the importance of balance in our lives. Striving for professional success is commendable, but not at the expense of our relationships and ethical standards. Nandini's later years, dedicated to atonement and helping others, show us that it's never too late to seek redemption and make amends for past mistakes. Nandini's volunteer work at the local clinic and her role in counseling young doctors highlight the power of giving back and using our experiences to guide others. She found a way to channel her guilt and grief into something positive, helping those in need and advocating for ethical practices in medicine. As a community, we can learn from her story. It's essential to support each other, share our experiences, and provide guidance to those who might be struggling with similar issues. By doing so, we create a network of compassion and understanding that can help us navigate the complexities of life. Nandini's reflections on her life also underscore the importance of forgiveness, both of ourselves and others. She had to come to terms with her actions and find a way to forgive herself for the mistakes she made. This journey of self-forgiveness allowed her to move forward and find peace in her later years. Thank you for being a part of our community, and I look forward to reading your comments. Your thoughts and experiences are incredibly valuable and can provide support and insight to others who might be facing similar challenges. Stay strong and take care.